Hello and welcome to this UFC 325 and dare I say Uncrowned Saturday post-fight show. What a day it has been. It has been about 10 hours straight of combat. We're going to recap it all. And in fact, as we sit here right now, right this moment, it's still going strong. Shakur Stevenson just entered the ring at Madison Square Garden. I'm going to keep my eye on that fight for all of you. It's been a great card over there, the Ring 6 card. But of course, we are focusing right now on UFC 325. And just like we saw back in April, it was another masterclass for Alexander the Great Volkanovski against Diego Lopes. He is still the UFC Featherweight champion. Last time when he fought Diego Lopes, back in April, some 9 months ago, it was 249.46s and 148.47. This time, 249.46s and 150-45. Don't disagree with that one. And so it does beg the question, what was the point of all of this? Now, of course, that's a little Monday morning quarterbacking, but there was a strong contingency of people, and we were part of that contingency who said, like, maybe Movsar and Lerone deserved the crack. I think Alexander the Great Volkanovski proved that tonight. I think he proved that he's that much better than Diego Lopes, and he was against the eight ball. He said that, he had some issues in camp. It was a little bit trying at times. He had to dig down deep. He used that as motivation, but he was trying to put him away, which is what he didn't do the first time around. He didn't do that, but it was, to me, it was a rather fun, entertaining fight, but also a pretty easy one to score. I had it 49-46, 50-45. In the end, Alex Volkanovski gets his great homecoming moment, the moment that he didn't get back in Perth a couple of years ago. And in doing so, by the way, he ties the great Jose Aldo for most successful title defenses at 145 pounds. The real conversation, we have these premature conversations about the new GOATs in a weight class. Well, you can now officially start having that conversation at 145 pounds. And there's probably a lot of you out there who think he's already surpassed the great Jose Aldo. Also on the card, Benoit Saint Denis with a great win, his fourth in a row against Dan Hooker, and Mauricio Ruffi got back on track with a big win over Rafael Fiziev. It's actually Mauricio Ruffi. It's always tough when you've got the Ruffi with the HR, and then you've got the R, the hard R of Rafael Fiziev. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am very happy that it's 12:06 a.m. It was a much quicker card. We'll talk about the adjustments that Paramount Plus and the UFC made in their second voyage here, back-to-back numbered events, very fun stuff. What a day it has been. It started, by the way, at around 2 o'clock in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble, the 2026 Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan winning on the women's side. On the men's side, Roman Reigns. Then we were over in Newcastle for a big win for one Josh Kelly, another British champion. He wins the IBF Super Welterweight title. Over in London on BBC Two, Francesca Hennessy won a controversial bout. Then we moved over to the UFC in Sydney. You know what happened in that card. And then over in Puerto Rico, Xander Zayas, a up-and-coming superstar out of Puerto Rico, becomes the first unified champion to hail from that island since Miguel Cotto. He wins a big one for Top Rank. And over in New York City, the Ring 6 card with the likes of Shushu Carrington and, of course, Keyshawn Davis, and right now Shakur Stevenson and the great Teofimo Lopez going toe-to-toe. What a day. The second annual Uncrowned Saturday is here and now, and I've got my friends here with me, the other members of 3PAC, to recap it all. First, we say hello once again. We missed him last week, to the man in the hat, a.k.a. the mayor of the Nutmeg State, the one and only Chuck Mindenall is here. Hello, Chuck. How are you?
I am well, sir. I apologize about missing last week. I really wanted to be here, but I wouldn't have missed this one, man.
That's not Jim Leonard's helmet behind you, is it?
Who's the chat?
You're gonna love him. You're gonna love him, man. I think a lot of Denver fans wanted him to be our defensive coordinator, so I think that's a good get.
Chuck, I'm still salty. I had to get one in. That's all I got at the moment. I
feel like you got more. I feel like you got more in you. We'll let it play out.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this is the first time we get a chance to speak to each other since that infamous catch, no catch. Anyway, we've got the great Pete C. Carroll here with us. He is the patron saint of the Emerald Isle. He is also the host of the critically acclaimed podcast, The Crack. He's the one and only aforementioned Pete C. Carroll. Hello, Pete C. How are you? You must be feeling like a pig in shit here. It's 5:08 a.m. over there.
I mean, this is unbelievable. What an event. UFC, you've knocked it out of the park. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. This is fantastic. And look, there's a lot of winners today, guys. I'm sure we're going to get into Roman Reigns, Liv Morgan, Alexander Volkanovski.
Sure.
But just want to offer a big congratulations to Mysterious Frank, who's had massive wins today. Absolute one of two people to complete a complete prediction of all the main card and the wild card, and of course Royal Rumble as well. We're going to talk about it more on Monday, but congratulations, Mysterious Frank.
Sure,
I really appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah, no, we're trying to keep it on task here. Okay, we're talking about UFC 325. All right, none of that other stuff. Although the Jabberwockies are walking out Teofimo Lopez as we speak. It's quite the scene over there at the Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena. Now, Chuck, let's talk about this. Alex Volkanovski with another masterclass. He continues to defy logic. He's timeless. He's all class. He's really going to go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time, regardless of weight class, right? And so, as you're watching that, does the thought ever cross your mind, like, what was the point of all of this? Like, kind of felt it wasn't the same fight, but it did sort of feel like we just saw this. He proved that point in April, and he didn't really have to prove it again. And quite frankly, I did wonder what Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev, if they are watching, were thinking as well.
Well, maybe they will chime in at some point while we're doing this, but it did feel like a very similar facsimile to what we watched before. There were some differences, and I don't know how you guys watch this, but I was watching this almost from the Diego Lopes lens of like, what does he do different? Because he was so outclassed the first time that's why we felt it was meaningless. You're like, well, I don't really think that there's much he's going to be able to do to Volkanovski in the second time. So you get into the situation, and I'm watching it from the Diego lens, and really the only big adjustment, I mean, he was cutting the cage a little bit more and stuff like that, but like the biggest thing was he wasn't loading up on his shots as much. He still got off to a slow start, but in that first fight, I felt like he was trying to take off Volkanovski's head, and he thought he would have that opportunity, and he got frustrated, I think, and he did land a couple big ones throughout the fight, but it seemed like he just, he couldn't get things to fall his way, and he was eating way more than he was landing. This particular time, I felt like he was more efficient with his striking. But they, even on the telecast, they're saying, start slow. They're kind of conflicted. Like, you start slow, you feel it out, be patient, and then you come to life. But what you realize, and this is what made the exercise seem futile, was there was just nothing he was going to be able to do. I tweeted this afterward. I'm like, it feels like these guys could meet 10 times. And I feel like you'd get the exact same kind of fight again and again. If anything, Volkanovski would figure out the ways to put Lopez away in the end. That's the way it looked. The bigger shots go to him. The cleaner shots, he just confounds them with his movement, switching stances, the level changes, all of that. I just felt like Lopez has no answer for anything that Volkanovski does, especially in a pattern of the fight and the whole sequence, exchanges and stuff. You can just see at one moment, there's always a moment where it's like Volkanovski's getting the better of him. It played out. We've seen it for 50 minutes now. And around the fourth, fifth round, I mean, maybe it occurred to you guys earlier, but I was like, yeah, that's what it happens is you're like, did we have to see this again? Because you're justifying it through the Diego lens. And once you're looking through that lens, you're like, it's just not happening, boys. You know what I mean?
PT, what impressed you most?
Well, what I couldn't stop thinking about throughout it is like we have to be skeptical. We're media. We're naturally skeptical. Not from our direction, but a lot of questions in the lead up to this event to Volkanovski about, you're 37 now. You must be thinking about retiring, and he has to bat these questions down. And similar to Chuck, I'm watching this. I'm like, all right, he's doing even better now. He's added some numbers onto the clock here. He's doing even better. And I just feel like all of that talk about retirement, we should be really appreciating this dude because he is absolutely brilliant, as you say, equaling Aldo's record there today. What I'd ask you, Ariel, is what do you think of what he said in his post-fight interview where he's talking about Movsar and Lerone? Like, we're talking about contenders in this division. Do we need to see this again? UFC, they don't have a huge amount of contenders at featherweight. These guys are the first two people that we'd like to see against Volk. Is it not counterintuitive to put them together if what he is saying is true?
No, it's a great shout. I think most people thought that they would do Lerone versus Movsar in London, and that may still be the plan. That hasn't been announced just yet, and I was told that there might be some delays in that. And so if, let's just say it does happen in March, then that makes the most amount of sense. If there is a delay, then there's a bit of an issue there because this is a guy who has said he wants to fight 3 times. He's not getting younger. We don't know what he was referring to when he said it was a somewhat problematic training camp. I'm sure the body is is taking some wear and tear, is having to deal with that. But he has said all week long he wants to fight 3 times this year. I would suggest that, learn from history. Maybe 2 would be better. 1 now and 1 maybe, I don't know, midway, back end, third quarter, fourth quarter of 2026. But yes, those are the 2 guys. And by the way, not enough is said of the fact that here is Alex Volkanovski almost like campaigning on behalf of Movsar and Lerone, who are not draws, right? Like, they're not big draws. These aren't the money fights. These aren't the sexy fights that are going to get you like more money. These are like the least popular guys in the division, right? Especially
and the most challenging.
Yes, and the toughest. And here is the aforementioned Movsar tweeting, "Great fight, Alex Volkanovski. He showed that you can get better at that age. I can't wait to share a cage to show why I am different than these guys." And so Volkanovski would not protest. He would not throw a fit if he gets Movsar or Lerone. I thought it should have been Lerone after the spinning back elbow. I would have no problem if it's Movsar. They're neck and neck as far as their winning streaks right now. I just thought Lerone's activity and the way in which he punctuated that finish should get him the title shot. It did not happen. And so if they're not going to fight for the belt, might as well fight each other. But you're 100% right. And by the way, can I just say, not enough is made of the fact that, and I know we kind of talked about this after the last win, but still, who would have thought after the 2 losses, the knockout losses to Islam and Ilya, that he would come back and look like this? This doesn't happen. No. You know what I mean? And I know he just beat the same guy twice, but still, at 37, to come back from 2 devastating knockouts where it seemed as though he may have lost his head, right? Lost everything, to come back and do this. This guy's legacy, man, we are going to appreciate him even more when he is gone for what he's doing tail end of his career, Chuck.
Imagine if he goes through the 2 guys you just mentioned, that's his year. I think that, you're 100% right. People kind of forget because you go into this one, and I think that people, you watch the first one, you're like, okay, Volkanovski, you kind of just kicked back up into the Volkanovski train that we had before, where it's like, oh, this guy's incredible. But going into that first fight, there was just such a question of, can he hang with another power guy, a finisher like this? And it felt like he was kind of being, the changing of the guard. They were just kind of feeding him to Diego. That was kind of because we didn't know. We thought that Volkanovski was done. The version that we thought was done. For him to do this, and again, to kind of get a similar opponent or a familiar opponent and look better the second time. Like, he learned the lesson. He's able to kind of break down what he needs to do better and come off like this. It's remarkable, man. And I think what you mentioned it. How often do you get a champion that's actually championing the meritocracy within his ranks, where he's like you mentioned, nobody's talking about Movsar really unless it's the hardcore fans. Nobody's really talking about Lerone unless it's Pizzi. And so we're like the only guys right now who are they're not really getting the push. And you have the champion saying that, I want them. So many times you get a champion who does the opposite, acts like nobody really has, you know what I mean? Like nobody has earned that right yet to face them, or certain guys haven't. It's just so refreshing, and how prolific he was as a champion, and to kind of want to do that still. The UFC should, I don't even know what, he should get some kind of lifetime achievement award for being who he is, man, because he's been everything that the UFC could possibly want from a champion.
Pete, can I ask you? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was
please.
just kind of saying, it kind of highlights how poor the matchmaking is, and it got a lot of criticism at the time with the other contenders there, that now Lopez is the furthest guy away from the title. You thought you were doing a favor by putting this guy in the mix. Now he's lost, as Chuck said, 50 minutes of fighting against Volkanovski. Who's crying out for that now? What does he now become in this division? I wonder how Lopez thought, what his team thought about it, what everyone thought about it when he was offered this. Would they have liked more time to try and improve, to try and figure this guy out? Because now you're in this situation where you're going to be, most of the time, a guy like this who's lost twice for the title, you are now going to be the guy that's bleeding contenders into that division, into that title picture. So just really counterintuitive in hindsight. And I know we said at the time too how poor that matchmaking was.
Okay, fun game. Here you look at the current rankings. You see Movsar there, you see Diego there, Yair, Lerone, could make a case for him being higher. Those are the current rankings. Obviously, John Silva's down there. Big win for him. Aljamain Sterling, still a big player, now at 145. Give me one word, Pete. Greatest featherweight of all time.
Volkanovski now, I think.
Chuck?
No, that's more.
It's Volkanovski.
Okay, let's play a fun game.
Okay.
So they've tied each other, right? So he tied Aldo, right? He tied Aldo for successful title defenses at 145. I'm going to give you the opponents, okay, en route to this, and we say which one was more impressive,
Right.
all right? And then we find out. So it's on our opinion. It's a mathematical equation. You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So we're talking title defenses. So Aldo, I'm including WEC. Do you think they include WEC when they say this stat, or do you think it's just UFC?
No, we should though, because WC was the standard.
Well then
Yeah.
Aldo might pass him. Fuck, I just screwed up this game.
Well,
off
like
the
I'm
bat.
not gonna like have an argument with someone if they have Aldo either. Like what Aldo was, he's the first guy. Like
Yeah.
you know, he put featherweight on the map to the degree when it was going over into the UFC. I know there was people before him, Brown, Faber, all those guys, but he was really the guy where you're like, this is a kid from Brazil.
Yeah,
he owns
but
this
still,
division, you know?
the level of competition. I mean, so like if you get into the resume thing, like okay, what was harder? I think Volkanovski's. That's just my opinion. I mean, you looked at some of and I'm not saying they were layups for Aldo, but he was pretty big favorites in some of his fights.
Yeah.
Because of who he was, like he was just so far ahead of most of these guys, so they just kind of had to feed him somebody to keep him rolling. And when you have Holloway 3 times and Aldo is part of that, and you know even Diego in the situation where he's supposed to be the new guy or whatever it is, and you're able to just keep doing this, that resume speaks for itself, you know.
This stat is all very weird to me, if I'm being 100% honest. It might not even be defenses. It might just be title victories. What a mess. Okay, let's go. We're going to include WC here and see if we can figure it out. All right. I have to do this. Mike Brown, Max Holloway.
I mean, Max.
Okay. So, Frank, do you mind keeping score for us here?
Yeah.
That's one for Volkanovski. All right. Uriah Faber, Max Holloway.
It's Max.
Max again, yeah.
Max. Okay, that's 2. Okay, Manny Gambieri, Max Holloway. 3.
Manny Gambieri, obviously.
Mark Hominick, Brian Ortega. 4.
Ortega, yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
Ortega. Yeah.
Kenny Florian, Chan Sung Jung. 5. Right?
Yeah.
Chad Mendez.
I agree.
Chad Mendez, Max Holloway.
Holloway. There's Zoom.
Yes. Okay, this is the worst game of all time. Point is, Alex Volkanovski.
There's not much drama, is there? Like,
Yeah, no. I thought it was going to be a tit for tat. I did this with Rick at GC. It was more fun. I guess what it proves is he's the greatest featherweight champion of all time.
yeah.
It's not
And,
even
like,
a hot
he
take.
has the other guys. He has all the other guys on his resume. Like that's also another convincing part of it. Like, oh, who do you have? Aldo, he beat him. Who do you have? Holloway, he beat him.
Right.
No, like,
no, you're right.
It's pretty convincing.
Yeah, people are. Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah, I screwed that up. I screwed that up. But the point is,
Wait.
Here's the point. I feel like we try to make a new GOAT all the time, and this is one of the first times in a while where it's like, yes, he is unequivocally the greatest featherweight of all time, and it's an amazing thing when you remember the beginning of his career. This is a guy who early in his UFC run, like I don't know if he had the aura, I don't know if he had the makings of being, a future GOAT. When he beat Yusuke Kasuya on the Whitaker Brunson card in November of 2016. I don't know if anyone was saying that's the guy. Even when he beat Mizuto Hirota or Shane Young or Jeremy Kennedy or Darren Elkins. Once he got to the Chad Mendes fight at UFC 232, remember he was starting to bang the drum. And then he started to do the thing where he would fly anywhere to be, the backup fighter and to get the opportunity. And it's just been an amazing story to watch. And also, let's not even bring up the personality and how he's evolved and how he's become so popular. I was seeing some tweets today. I don't know if they're joking or not, but I was seeing some tweets today from people being like, I just found out that this like cooking YouTube channel guy is also a UFC champion, and I had no idea. Like that he's become, and I think I was looking at their other tweets, and I think that they were being serious because they weren't MMA fans just doing things tongue in cheek. Like he's got 1 million subs on or followers or whatever on that Cooking with Volk Instagram page and all that. So he's the guy is prolific. It's unbelievable. It's really amazing to see.
I did a piece I mean, early on for MMA fighting, where I talked to him, and it was the first feature that I'm even aware, like where somebody really deep dive, because obviously he was a rugby player and he weighed like 70 pounds or whatever it was bigger than he ended up being as a fighter. And what you're talking about is absolutely true, because I remember kind of thinking, like, I'm not sure he has the aura, because he spoke in like the bromides of, like, he's a very nice guy, but he was speaking in that way that like pro athletes speak. And I'm like, if he wants to be a fighter, like obviously you're going to have to stir some shit up type thing. And to see his evolution, not just in what he's been able to do in the cage, but just outside of it, like his personality and kind of letting people see who he is on these different levels, and like his kind of very subtle sense of humor over the course of time, it's coincided brilliantly with his run, man. And I think that's why he's so beloved.
So what do you guys think happens here? Do you think they do Movsar versus Lerone, or do you think they have one of those guys fight him? And here's the thing: if they don't,
it's silly if they do,
Okay, so who do you give the nod to?
Lerone.
I think so too. Yeah.
Why?
It's the most exciting fight. Like, Movsar, unfortunately, like, look, we know what the currency of the UFC is today. Look, some people will say Movsar deserves it in terms of meritocracy. You've gone through it already, Ariel. Similar amount of wins, all that kind of thing. Lerone is a more exciting fighter as far as I'm concerned. That will go with the UFC more than Movsar will. I think to put them against each other eliminates one, and that just... it doesn't feel like the right move. If this guy is here now, looking as good as he is, and he wants to take on these two new contenders in the bracket, I'd absolutely love to see that.
Yeah, and in terms of theatrics, like just kind of bringing some, the dude's got a crazy backstory. I feel like I don't even think people are fully embracing Lerone yet for, like, kind of what he's faced and who he is. That would at least shine the light on him. And I do think that he presents like if you're the UFC and you have a dilemma of saying, do we want Movsar as a champion, right? Like, do we want to throw our marketing muscle or anything like that behind this guy that we just don't think has that yet? If you're going to have your druthers in that sense, you go with Lerone, right? And I think that does present, at least to the public, I think the more exciting fight right now.
Yeah, and by the way, it's the perfect fight for London, right? It's the perfect fight for that London main event. Hopefully, you get Lerone over. You get the London crowd behind him. You hope that they get behind him and his story. And it's a number one contender fight. I mean, if they don't build this as a number one contender fight, if they go in that direction and don't build this as a number one contender fight, then nothing is ever a number one contender fight, right? Like, it is the perfect number one contender fight. And I believe, because that card PT is March 21st, right? So I believe if it's March 21st, I think it will be a case of, remember when Armin fought Charles Oliveira at UFC 300, and they asked him right after, like, hey, do you want to turn around and fight for the belt 2 months later against Islam, and he turned it down, and then they went with Dustin. I think they'll do something like that because they don't love both of those guys for whatever reason. They'll have them fight March 21st in London. Winner will get asked to turn around relatively quickly if Volkanovski is healthy. I'm not saying like 6 weeks later, but like, hey, we need a slot, buddy. All right, this is your chance.
Yeah,
and then he just fights the winner. That's probably what is going to happen and what should happen. And then we'll find out. I wonder who'd be the favorite in that fight. That's a really tough fight. Maybe
it's you know what? I hate it, man. Like, I think it's so hard for Lerone to look good in that fight.
I know.
Really,
that's the problem. Yeah.
Like, you're talking about, like, you're laying him up in London against Movsar, you're laying him up.
Yeah.
That's a horrific fight. 25 minutes, man. Like, that is a long time. And then if he doesn't win, to say that that's a disaster, he loses in London. The flip side of that is UFC now have to make the Movsar fight, which Dana seems very reluctant to do for a very long time. So I think there's meritocracy wise, okay, that's fine. But why are we suddenly doing that? That is not what they do any other time. Today's main event doesn't make sense from that point of view, but yet you're going to be so strict about the number one contender bout when neither of them have fought this guy yet, and he's looking absolutely brilliant.
Who would be the wild card? You showed that graphic with the rankings. Who would be the wild card to sneak in there if neither one of these guys ends up being next?
Oh, God.
John Silva.
John Silva, yeah.
That'd probably be the one.
Silva,
I think you're right. I think it would be John Silva.
I mean, that would be crazy. I love John Silva, but like, he's on a one-fight winning streak. So was Diego Lopes.
Or Diego Lopes trilogy fight. Yeah,
oh my God. The world will stop. The world will stop. No, that's the one. That's the one. By the way, I really enjoyed the crowd. I thought they were fun. Some people were saying that they were dead, but like the walkout was great. We'll get to Tai Tuivasa in a bit, but like they were trying to will him to victory. I thought it was a really fun crowd. Remember, this is a Sunday morning crowd. This is Sunday morning over there.
Yeah.
The card starts relatively early. Before we move along, a quick shout out. I feel like our friends at the UFC figured it out in just 1 week. I was sort of getting worried there. The prelims. We got a round and a half of action in the first 43 minutes of the prelims, the 7 to 7:43 with the Oban Elliott fight lasting a round and a half, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a disaster. Main card I thought flew by. Number one, we got the main event, starting at around like 11:22 p.m. Eastern time, which I thought was huge. The main card started I was monitoring all of this, at 9:21. Last week it started essentially at 9:31. So they shaved 10 minutes off the top, which, the head man, Zach Candido, did promise on social media that he would do. And I thought what was probably most notable, and here he is saying, you want walks, we'll give you walks, or at least we'll try. This was most notable. They gave you all the walkouts. And then as the red corner gets into the cage and was, doing the little warm up, then they went to a quick like 30-second spot in between rounds. They gave you the corner talk. They went to the L bar, which I think some of us suggested last week, with a little ad here, Monster Energy there. Bet 365. It was if that's the new era, I don't know how you can complain for $8.99, right? I didn't really see any issues here, as opposed to all the issues everyone was belly aching about last week.
I thought it was brilliant, man. It was seamless. It felt like we were always on to the next fight. I would take this every time, man. Look at us. We're recording right. We're halfway through a show. It's like 12:30 a.m. Crazy.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yes.
That's all you need to tell me. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, PT. Co-main. Big win for BSD against Dan Hooker. Thought it went like 10 seconds too long there. I thought Herb Dean gave Dan every opportunity possible to get out of that mount position, and the elbows and the punches were all sneaking by, right? Like they were all landing. He was all bloodied. I can't imagine what the face is looking like, what the nose feels like. But here's Benoit Saint-Denis. Talk about a comeback story. This guy had a nightmare 2024. He comes back and has a tremendous 2025. Here he starts the year with another big win. He's won 4 straight, and he said, I want the undisputed belt, or I want the BMF. He did also say, Armin, essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, you're a punk and I'm going to take your spot. But he was very clear about 2 things. I want undisputed or BMF. What do you think of BSD and Dan Hooker?
I think, first of all, I don't know if he's going to get either of those things. Secondly, I think it was really impressive from the point of view of things started going wrong there early on, and it reminded me a lot of the Poirier fight, of the Moicano fight too, where he's getting hit in the body, and it's just like he's just taking these, and he's just gonna walk through them, I guess. Like this seems to be the strategy, but he came out the other side of it then, and he fought brilliantly. He's been looking great, and I think he's gonna take a lot from that. Specifically because of what I just said there, he was put in bad situations. Hooker was landing a beautiful teep kick to the body. He landed on numerous occasions, and you could see big visible reactions from BSD. I think the fact that he came through that and then really dominated Hooker, I think you can't say enough good things about him. I will say, I don't think the BMF title is all about, how much of a star you are, how much of a cult following you have. I don't think he's there yet. And it's still very hard to talk about anyone in the lightweight picture that isn't Arman Sarukian. But I wouldn't rule out that fight happening. I think they need to keep Arman busy if they're going to be adamant about Gaethje v. Ilya and kind of unifying these titles. Arman will be left without a dance partner, so maybe that does make sense.
What do you think, Chuck?
I would. How many people actually call? I know it wasn't like a direct call up, but how many people actually even mention Arman in that situation? So if all else fails, I'm like, that's a great fight. And what is he? He's got 4 in a row now, right? Because I thought for a minute, especially after the Moicano one, it was after that one. You could almost be like, okay, Dustin Poirier, maybe he shot a shot early, and then it was just like this is a nightmare. It turns the table. But losing that Moicano one, I was like, I wasn't sure then if he was going to you'd almost feel like what's happened with Fiziev is like maybe they're just going to start to fall off, and he's not done that. He's kind of come back strong. I agree with Pizzi though. he takes some crazy shots, man. Like I thought Hooker, he couldn't have started that fight better, landing those body shots, and it just seemed like Benoit was he was going to keep moving forward and doing what he's going to do, regardless of what Hooker was going to do. I'm not sure that that's the smartest play against guys like Arman if he ends up with that, but I appreciate that he believes now that he's back up there. And honestly, man, what do you like if that fight is available and the UFC doesn't know what to do with Arman? I would love to see it. I just think that would be like that's the top of the top in that division. So I think that'd be a great fight.
I know that there is a want by some to dismiss Dan Hooker, to say that he's, a bum and all this stuff because he's lost these last 2 fights. I do want to remind you that, all right, he's got in his last 7 fights, he does have 4 losses. But listen to who he's lost to. He's lost to Islam Makhachev. He lost to Arnold Allen in a featherweight bout. He lost to Arman Tsarukyan and BSD. I mean, 4 of the best fighters in the world, 3 of the best lightweights in the world, and then 1 of the best featherweights in the world, obviously. The wins were against Claudio Puelles, Jalen Turner, Mateus Gamrot. That was a great win as well.
Gamrot's a huge win.
Yeah, 2024. So, like, I saw a lot of people ripping on Dan Hooker. Like, these are top guys. I do think, it was a quick turnaround for him. He said he broke his nose before the fight against Arman Tsarukyan. Yeah. If that was in fact true, like that's a lot of damage to sustain. The fact that he's coming back, he came back, a little over 2 months after that loss. That loss was in late November, and I know we were all excited about the matchup, but like I couldn't believe he was coming back so soon. And obviously, he wanted to fight close to home, but maybe there was something to be said that come back, Brian Ortega just pulled out. Maybe there's a fight against a guy like that, or even a Moicano would be great. But like, I would love to see him take some time off, take a bit of a step back. Dan Hooker, I still maintain, has reached that Cerrone territory where he'll lose 2 in a row. People still love him. Derek Lewis is another example of a guy like that. People still want to watch him fight. He's not going anywhere. He's as popular, if not more than ever. You lose to BSD. BSD's on fire right now, and that whole team with Imavov and that whole crew is just looking great right now. So I don't think there's anything to really hang his head down about. But BSD is that guy. I agree with you guys. The more I think about the Arman fight, I kind of dig it. If Arman's not going to get a title shot next, and they're really going to go in the direction of Justin versus Ilya, I'd rather him fight. He's doing all these side quests. I'd rather him fight in the UFC than do this other stuff.
Right,
you know what I mean? So I don't.
What about Patty Pim? Is Patty off the table now for Hooker?
Listen, if I'm Patty's,
more on the table than ever. He's more on the table.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but if I'm Patty's manager, like I'm staying as far away from that as possible. Look at the rankings right here. Arman's 2. Charles obviously is fighting Max. There you go, Max. Patty, I'm staying away from. Hooker, he just beat Gamrot. He has the history with, and there's BSD. It's not the craziest. It's not the craziest idea. To be clear, I think he should be fighting for the belt next. But if they're going to do the IC champ fighting Topuria, then it's probably the one that makes the most amount of sense right now.
Hang on, sorry. What makes the most amount of sense?
BSD versus Arman.
So who are you saying for Paddy is Hooker?
Oh, I'm saying Paddy's got to take a hell of a lot of time off. Like,
okay.
By the way, don't hate that at all. But like, I don't want to see those guys for like 8 months at this point. Like, they've taken a hell of a lot of damage. Do you not agree?
No, I do. Sorry, I just got lost.
By the way, it's not a bad shout at all. Was I all over the gaff there?
I don't know. One of us was. It was probably me. Let's just move on swiftly. How about that, Fazai?
By the way, in case you're wondering, Teofimo Lopez is all over the gaff. He's getting completely outclassed by Shakur Stevenson right now.
He's good as well.
A lot of people saying 6-0. I believe they're in the 6th. Yeah. So this would be a huge win. We're moving up to 140 pounds and finally perhaps getting some respect. I think a lot of people want to see him put Lopez away. Let's see if he does that. So we're keeping an eye on that. This is the final little piece of this tremendous Uncrowned Saturday that started some 10 hours ago. But yes, did you guys have a problem with the stoppage? Or did you think that he was just Herb Dean was just giving Hooker respect? I don't know. I felt like it just went a little bit too long.
No, man. I was actually, when you get to that point where you're like, dude, stop the fight. Like you're actually talking to the TV. I was saying that for a little while those shots were raining down. There's no point. I mean, once he's turtling up, and I know he's going like if you're insisting like fight back. I know he like threw like a punch backwards like just to show something, but I'm like that's not intelligent defense at that point, right? Like that went on way too long in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Mauricio Hufi against Rafael Fiziev. I know some of you like that hard R. You know what I'm talking about, right? Rafael and Hufi. Yes, come on.
Yeah.
Chill out.
You're right. That is very confusing that they got going on there.
Both names, yeah.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of people want to call him Rafael Fiziev, but it's actually Rafael because we're so
all right, lads. Let's just wait. It's late. Let's just go with whatever we're going with tonight.
Fiziev.
Let's
go Fiziev.
Fiziev. Hufi or Fiziev.
This is like when they suddenly. I'm not gonna I don't want to get into this, but Fiziev. They started changing this around the time they told us that Kiev was Kiev, and we're like, I've been saying Kiev for 35 years, but suddenly it's Kiev. Fair enough. You know what I mean?
It's a good point. What about first round? Bit of a feeling out, fun, but then the second round, holy crap. Hufi with the jab, and then he unleashes this right hand that completely dismantled Fiziev. Jesus Christ! Now I'm screwing up the names. And he was on roller skates, couldn't figure him out, and then he finishes him. You know, this is a guy who came off that really bad loss back in Paris to BSD. It was kind of interesting seeing them, sitting next to each other on the dais at the press conference. Spends a lot of time with the Volk camp. Hasn't left Fighting Nerds, even confirmed afterwards. He's going to go back. Did show up to his post-fight availabilities, his media availabilities, arm in a sling. Not sure if anyone asked him about that. There he is. So not sure what that is all about. We'll find out very soon. But I thought that was a huge bounce back win for a guy who then, obviously went to Sydney, who trained with the champ, trained with the likes of Izzy, got a little bit, maybe a different look, scenery, vibe, whatever. Huge win against a very tough out. And I thought he was the more accomplished fighter going in. I think he proved that, PT, on this night.
Yeah, and look, I felt like he was matched similar to how Peyton Talbot was. He loses to Ione Barcelos and he gets Felipe Lima, and you're kind of going, that's not really a step back here. What are we doing? And he loses. We saw Hufi lose to BSD, and then he's in against Fiziev, and you're like, you know what? I don't know if that's the right move. If I'm your manager, I do not know if I'm putting you in that fight. Honestly, early on in this fight, when he was taking up that kind of back foot position that he does, and he's allowing Fiziev to come onto him, I was like, oh man, you're making all the same mistakes as you did against BSD. But as you said, completely changed the game with that jab, got that going, and he just kept it in his face, found the big right hand. And you generally don't see Fiziev reacting to shots like that as well, which will be a feather in Hufi's cap. I think he's the most exciting of the Fighting Nerds, John Silva included. I think he's a spectacular striker. He reminds me of McGregor early on, big rangy physique with a big backhand, capable of spinning kicks, capable of everything spectacular. I'm very happy to have him up towards the top of the division again with that win.
Yeah, and you mentioned. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just going to say, you mentioned just the McGregor thing, and I know that's like always our default on certain.
Cliche, right?
It's cliche, but at the same time, that one of the things that struck you about McGregor early on was just the poise. This one, it was almost like they were saying, like, guys, Hufi's kind of starting slow here. He's not really throwing a lot, but it was kind of, like you mentioned, the jab, and he was dealing with the kicks. They were coming at him way more volume than he was anticipating. But when he finally did unleash that right hand, did you see the poise in which, so he just knocks him down and he just kind of stalks forward with no big urgency. He knew he'd landed it flush and he knew he could get the victory. Anytime you see that, man, where a guy slows the fight down like that, it always sticks with you. That's what makes those knockouts so beautiful.
It's a big gap in the rankings between the two of them. Hufi going to the fight 14, Fiziev 9. So you'd think that Hufi will jump up. And, if he jumps up, you're now in the BSD territory. He's obviously not going to fight him again because BSD is number 8. But he's such a fun fighter. He's such an entertaining fighter. It was a striker's delight. It was such a great matchup. And I don't know. I was really impressed with that striking in the second round. Great win for Mauricio Hufi. It's been nagging me. Volkanovski tied Aldo for title victories, not title defenses. That's why the game didn't really work out.
Okay.
I just wanted to. I'm a stickler for these things, guys.
The game was great. The game was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I had a great time. You should have seen me.
Stickler.
I played it brilliantly. Yes.
Okay, no, I think
Very
we called
good
it
at
tit for tat. I think it was called tit for tat when we did it. It was a big hit when we did it, but I couldn't quite recreate the magic.
It was me
Anyway,
and Chuck's fault. That's what you're saying. Everyone else was great at it. You destroyed it with me and Chuck, and we shit the bed. That's what you're saying.
I didn't want to say it, but if you want to say it,
It's out there now.
7-0 for Shakur Stevenson. So a masterclass.
Wow, man.
Pride of Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. Stand up. Anyway,
That surprised you
guys,
at all? That surprised you the way that's playing out?
You know,
That's a little
it's funny you say
surprising.
that. I was at the mall today, and someone came up to me and was like, "Who do you got? Who do you got? Who do you got in the main?" This was a fun thing about the week. People were saying to me, "Who do you got in the main?" You know, I'm sort of man of the
Yeah.
people. I was at the Knicks game yesterday. Everyone's like,
I've seen you, out and about.
and I told my kids, I'm like, "Do you understand now?" I was like, "It's sort of my city. Like, this is my city, my arena." Like, you get it now. Well, anyway, and I'm like, "Which main event?" You know, and so some people said the boxing, some people, which I liked. I like people want my boxing
Yeah.
takes. Great. And I was like, I think Shakur's got him. I think Shakur's got. I think Teofimo's better days are behind him. I think Shakur is incredible, and I think he doesn't get enough respect. It's one thing to say that the guy's not exciting. All right, at times maybe, but he's an incredible fighter. He's an absolute stud. So, yeah, he's en route to victory, and that would be a huge win for him. They're in the 8th round at Madison Square Garden. I enjoyed, guys, the Tai Tuivasa fight against Talson Teixeira way too much. It was just so entertaining and fun, and maybe it was the crowd like trying to will Tuivasa to victory. It did not happen. By the way, he suffered his 6th loss in a row, and this one went the distance. And it was Shade's Chuck of Ben Rothwell against Mark Hunt, UFC 150. Remember that?
It was in Denver. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
It
God.
ends with both of them with their hands on their knees. But it was fun. I don't. You know what? 6 in a row. I hope they keep him around. Ty's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
No, I'm with you, man. Like I said going in, I was like, nah, they gotta. If you lose a 6th win, I mean, you just can't hang around. But
Yeah.
you see why they do it, you know. And I had fun in that one too. I did see people kind of like, oh my God, what a horrible fight. But that's just kind of this heavyweight prejudice. If it gets past like a round and a half, and that's bound to happen. Like you could see both guys early in the 2nd round already like huffing air, and I was like, if this keeps going, man, we're going to end up where we did. It was very entertaining because at the end there, what you're rooting for is not like so the table turning moment is really just you saying like find the strength to stand up and hit him one more time. You know, that's kind of what it comes down to, and the fact that they can't, you know, is like this extra like layer of the theater, like that you're like, oh my God, this fight went like in such a crazy way that he can't even get up. Like the end there, if he just gets up, if Ty gets up and he's able to just land some shots, you know, Teixeira's so tired himself, it's probably over. You know, so like it's a wild fight, man. But I'm with you, man. There is something about like some guys, like Sam Alvey, for instance. I was like, well, why are they keeping around? It's not like people like show up to watch a Sam Alvey fight. He's just kind of on a card. But I always feel like with Tuivasa, like he's got, you know, people are interested in his fight every time, right? I feel like every time people want to see how it's going to pan out. As long as that's in place, man, to keep him around.
PT?
Keep him around. I don't know if you were watching the fights tonight, lads. 5 losses in a row. Tuivasa's name flashes up. There's a number beside it. It's number 12. And then I was like, oh, maybe something's wrong here. Maybe you know the
No way. He's
nighttime
not
delirium
ranked, is
has me. He's ranked number 12, and he hasn't.
Is he really?
Since February 2022, and he's lost 5 fights in a row, and he's here going like, this dude he's fighting is ranked number 15. The heavyweight division is in a shambles, lads. It is all over the gaff. They're letting lads go who are on winning streaks. Martin Boudet, fuck off. All right, you go back to Octagon, mate. We don't want anything to do with you. And you know, of course they're going to keep him. He's an amazing personality. He'll do better than the vast majority of fighters will ever be in the UFC because he started enterprises outside there. He means so much to the fans. But honestly, like, it speaks more about the heavyweight division and the situation it's been in for a long time, right? Like, this is not just Aspinall's only been the undisputed champion for 3 months, and we all know his situation is complicated. But even before that, with Jones, to have Tuivasa there with his last win is February 2022. It's now almost February 2026. That's crazy.
It'd probably be ranked 11th come Monday.
By the way,
Look, I love the guy. I really like the guy. I love the fight too, but it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson had 8 in a row.
What was he ranked?
Who cares? He's good vibes. Bam Bam. You know, the walkouts, all that.
Oh, I
stuff.
love him. Yeah, no, absolutely. I wasn't really trying to diss Bam Bam. I'm just trying to say, like, what is going on with that division? How can that be the case? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, you know what's interesting? First 2 rounds he lost, has his moments in the third, and you felt like, okay, keep the fight standing.
Yeah.
And shout out to John Anik. He pointed it out because Bisping and Cormier were saying, like, you need to keep it standing. And Teixeira was holding on to, I think it was his left wrist as he was hovering over him. Did you notice that? I thought it was very savvy on Teixeira's part. It looked like he was just sort of like, you know, engulfing him. Bam Bam was, but he hung on for dear life. Teixeira, you know, not used to going the distance, not used to going past the first round. Obviously looked very, very tired afterwards, but I'd like to see him get one more chance. I don't know. Otherwise, where's he going to go? He's going to go to, I don't know, Misfits or something. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Dirty boxing? Maybe he can have
I'd say you'd have options, man.
He's the man. He's the freaking man. He had this long delay. Man. Let him get this one out of the way, and then give him one more chance. And
I mean, look at the crowd; they were so behind him.
Loved them. It was actually very sweet the way I felt like they were cheering him on and trying to get him, over the top there. What about Quillen Salkild, guys? I mean, this guy is who I think a lot of people thought he was, as far as like one of the big breakout prospects of 2025, and he continues to win. He wins in the first round against Jamie Malarkey, a beautiful rear naked choke, the slam, trapping that leg. I think it was the left leg, the rear naked / like neck crank. It was that choke was everything that Gunther wanted his choke to be against AJ Styles earlier today. You get what I'm saying? Like Gunther, he didn't have it under the chin. He had it under the chin, and then he cranked at the same time. PT, it was textbook. You understand what I'm saying? Textbook.
Man. Gunther still put him out, man. He retired to do it.
I was going to say, Gunther still finished it, right? So
a win's a win. A win's a win.
Yeah.
There's something about like those wrestling rear naked chokes that just seem too effortless. Like there's no.
That's how good he is. That is how good he is at rear naked chokes, me. That I don't know why you keep bringing this up. AJ Styles, you're trying to say he doesn't know how to defend a rear naked choke? Come on.
No. What about Quill?
AJ Styles is what, 48?
No, he's way younger than that.
50?
Is he?
Something like that.
AJ Styles 48.
47 maybe.
Holy shit, he's 48? What the fuck?
Wasn't that insane, man? Dude's flying
mind.
all over the place. I'm like, he's 40 years old.
Wow. There's something about the hair that makes me think he's like 36.
Soccer mom hair.
I know he's been around forever.
Soccer mom hair.
Is that what they said about him? Somebody said that about him. One of the wrestlers did.
Guys, Quillen Salkild here. I'm trying to give him
Sorry. He's a lovely.
Sorry about that.
4-0. You guys weren't impressed.
I was.
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
It's also a biggest favorite on the card, mate. You know what I mean? Like everybody.
Like the slam. He trapped the one leg. He didn't do the body lock. He just trapped the. I don't know. It was nice. I don't know.
It was lovely, but that one of those matchups, like it is a showcase matchup. He completely delivered in that, but unfortunately, that was what was expected going in, and he nailed it.
Okay, sorry.
But sometimes, I give him credit when they're supposed to showcase. It's a lot of pressure. He actually went out there and did just that. Like he actually was able to perform it and get a big finish. And sort of like they said, they was talking to the matchmakers or whatever. I'm like, he seems to have that it factor a little bit, right? Like so, I feel like so I feel like that's one of the reasons. Yeah.
Got the hair, stash. Yeah.
Stash, yeah.
I kind of felt sorry for Malarkey. You know what I mean? It, like using an Aussie guy to put an Aussie guy over. A guy who's like tenured. I was kind of like, oh, mate, that's a bit rough. You know what I mean? No one else?
Yeah.
No one else. Jamie Malarkey. All right, fair enough.
He's that guy. Ross Pearson in his corner. That was cool. By the way, Salkild and Hoofy got the performance of the night bonus. Volkanovski and Lopez with the fight of the night. So $100K for each of them. All four of those guys, and then $25K for Benoit Saint Denis, Cam Rouston, McAuliffe, Nakamura, and Elikana. Let me tell you about the rest of the results on this here card. The aforementioned Billy Elikana beat Junior Tafa in the second round via rear naked choke. Prelims were pretty fun. Cam Rouston defeated Cody Brundage via second round TKO. Jacob Malkoun beat Torres Finney in a bit of a weird one. Finney seemed compromised, and it was also kind of weird because Daniel Cormier coaches him, and you can tell he was trying his best to be neutral. I don't think he had any issues, but
no. But I
it's like,
genuinely feel him. Like, like this is his guy, and you're making him comment on blow by blow. And Darren Wynn and Torres Finney and Daniel Cormier all similar in stature. Does he only train a certain kind of body type, or?
Yeah, I mean, but the arms are incredibly long. Like the torso is similar, but the arms are very impressive. He's a bit of a fan favorite. Loses his first fight, down to 11-1 now. The aforementioned Jonathan McAuliffe submits Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott looked so good for 95% of this fight, right, PT? Bit of a heartbreak,
and I really. Right? I thought McAuliffe, he was really struggling with him. I thought it was going to be a different fight, completely different how it played out. I thought Oban would look to take him down and dominate from top. He briefly did it in the first round, but I thought he was getting the better of him on the feet. And McAuliffe just pulls off a beautiful back take, in all fairness to him. Really, really slick, which I didn't think he had in his arsenal. Completely flipped what I thought was going to happen in the fight, but it's going to be even harder for Oban because he fought so well. I'd say, oh, holy shit. I was winning that fight. I thought he was winning both rounds up until that back take, and McAuliffe did a great job of finishing the choke.
Yeah, I'm gutted for him because he looked really good. And I know he's a very emotional guy, and this was a big one for him after his incredible 2024 and his forgettable 2025, and so tough loss. Back to the drawing board. Khan Ofli won a controversial majority decision. A lot of people thought that he did not deserve that nod. And then you had the road to UFC fights, which were a hootenanny. For more on that, we're going to throw it over to Pete.
I had a nap during that period. I was having a nap.
You're not breaking it down.
Listen, I'm at this age now, Ariel. I used to be able to do it through the whole. I used to be able to go the whole way. I had the Royal Rumble today at 7, and I strapped myself in for that. And then I told you afterwards, I'm finding it difficult to find the nap segment of the evening here. Road to UFC had to be sacrificed. Fair play to all the big winners, though. Etched in history.
For more on the road to UFC brackets, we send it over to Chuck Mininoff for.
I wasn't even napping. I just sit and watch.
It was interesting. They brought in Gooden for the play-by-play for that one.
Was it interesting?
I mean, usually
did they really? To UFC?
Yeah, they brought in Gooden for that. But Cormier and Bisping did the color analysts, and it comes in post road to UFC, which they don't usually do. It was very boxing-esque.
John did well. I saw him. He was doing the backstage interviews with Ross Pearson and all. He's very good at that stuff, man. I hope
that's another new wrinkle. I like the backstage with the coaches. Cool. Dana always said he hates the backstage with the fighters. He doesn't like that they do it in boxing, but they've introduced the coaches, which I like, but they play music under it. Second week in a row. It's like, it's like, can we just listen to the interview? Why do we have to, why does it have to be so overproduced, Listen, we talk about the good and the bad over here.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
I like the music.
I do like the coach thing, though.
Coach thing
I hope they figured that out, yeah.
They actually sometimes give, better interviews than the fighters themselves, in those moments, at least, right? Fighters themselves, what are they going to say, 30 minutes before...
well, you know about it. You've talked to these fighters. Sometimes guys will give you something, but... Very rare, right?
We're in the 11th round of this fight. Shakur Stevenson en route to a victory. Most people have it 9-1 for Shakur. So there you have it. By the way, great card over there at Madison Square Garden. Keyshawn Davis getting back on track, getting a last-second stoppage victory. Shushu Carrington with an incredible knockout victory. The talk of the town, of course, and there's Shushu, the pride of Brownsville. Great knockout for him. The talk of the town has been... Jarrell Big Baby Miller's hairpiece.
Man.
Fucking hell, man.
But I mean, really, he's speaking uncrowned into existence, right? I mean, that is uncrowned.
Did you hear his excuse for this, by the way?
No, I didn't. Just as crazy.
So what would you say he said about this? Like, what
Oh, my Lord.
what do you think? What do you think has
Wow.
happened here? Like, is this a guy just saying, "I'm going to get some hair glued onto my head to protect my"? I'm not ready to come out as bald yet. Like, is that what you
Wait,
imagine
what?
is happening here?
Who
This
who
shot,
is this?
by the way, this is Sky Nicholson.
Oh,
Yes.
that's who it was. I saw this photo. Okay.
Yes, who got the hairpiece and put it on her own head, which I think is just absolutely disgusting, if I'm being honest. Fair
I
play
thought
to
you'd have a
you.
problem with that, to be honest.
There was the one shot where he gets hit with the uppercut and it goes whoop, like flies off.
A cartoon.
It was like
a cartoon.
What's your
But did you hear
trying
the
to say,
excuse?
PT? Well, yes. Go ahead. What's the excuse?
Right, so it's just right. So I look at this and I see this happen. I was like, all right, well, Big Baby Miller does not want to tell the world that he's a bald man, and that's a lot of people in the world like that now, and that's fine. Then he gets the mic afterwards and he says, "Oh, it was in my mom's house, and I put some weird bleach in my hair before this, and it all fell out, and then I got this done."
What?
Did you know?
No.
Did you know,
Bro,
Big
you
Baby
just gotta
Miller?
own it. Just own it.
Big Baby Miller.
I didn't
Helwani.
understand the hair
All
that's
right?
like that was left. Like what? I didn't understand what was going on there.
That's what they do.
It's like he's been scalped. Just
He's got the crown. Oh my god. He looks like some sort of like
Oh, man.
those
looks
emperors in
scalped,
Greece. Like when they had the things around their head, like with the with like the leaves.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Or like Julius Caesar. Didn't Julius Caesar have a haircut like that?
what a clash
crazy.
of titans, though.
By the way, it's crazy that he's got like the fade leading up to that, and then they went. You ever see those videos on? I don't know. Maybe I'm fascinated by barbers. I get a lot of hair
I
cutting
get them
videos
too.
fed to me, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating how they stick it on there. So much pressure for those barbers doing that. You know?
You have one of them tattoos, don't you? That people don't know that about you. You got one of them micro on your hair. It's
Yeah, like Malik Scott. He's on the broadcast. His whole hairline is tattooed.
Oh,
Who
shit,
had that
yeah.
recently? Who had that recently? Someone had that recently. Oh, Travis Barker.
Bigelow.
His whole
Travis
head is-
Barker.
he's got like a hairline, but it's all tattoo. Bam Bam's a good shout, but Bam Bam had a little more fire coming down here. It wasn't like this is like
He
actually
opened
like
the door. He opened the door. Travis Barker walked through. That's all.
no, you're right, guys. As we round third here on this here program, it's 12:59 a.m. Eastern time.
Usually we're just
Throw-
starting. We're just starting.
It's
usually,
true.
So this is
God,
great.
This is so much fun. So much fun.
Let's do an extra hour. Come on.
I did. Hey, by the
Let's go
way,
to the
back in
calls.
these. Back in the Spotify days, we'd go to the calls after the first hour. We were fucking crazy back then.
I know.
What's wrong with us? Man?
The one name we didn't mention, he did say it earlier in the week. Do you think any chance it's Armin down to 145 for Volk? Is that the one? Armin said he'd move down to 45. Volk said he would love
No,
it.
well, they don't want to give him
No?
anything. Like, why would they?
They want to
move
make
the
him
vision
suffer.
and we'll give you-
Make him suffer.
Mm.
Make him suffer.
Yeah, what a fascinating fight, though.
Could you imagine?
No.
Would they prefer Arman over the other two guys that can't get
Hell
title
yeah.
shots?
I would think so.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
No, it's a vendetta situation right now. I don't think so.
Hmm. All
The
right.
boys haven't completely sullied themselves like arm and headbutting people at press conferences. I mean, weigh-ins and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A couple super chats here, guys, before we go. I don't know when they came in. I did see them. Oh, here's one. The hard R Ariel drop would be crazy. Frank, don't get any ideas, okay?
No, definitely not happening.
A bunch of
Also,
that's
maybe you
from-
could just stop saying hard R, though, right?
I mean, I was trying to.
Mhm.
It's not like a universal. I'm trying to say that Mauricio Hufi and Rafael Faziv. How else do you explain the?
Let's not get into
Rafael?
this again. Now we got bogged down in this earlier.
Sorry,
Let's just-
sorry. Here's Mighty Zan who says audio and stream quality was A+. MF Poppy, take notes. Frank,
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Are we not doing super chats? Do we not care about the people who pay at 1:00 in the morning? Is that?
This is kind of
Where's
a
the
new
guitar
thing, you know?
I saw a bunch of super chats. I figured, we should acknowledge them. I mean, you make me acknowledge 99-cent, Bill's trolling on a
All right, let's
Monday
look
at
at this one.
5:15.
From Mighty
What?
Zan, I see
I already-
it looks
I
like
already read that
18
one.
Australian flags. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, here's Dozen Sam, 10 euros, who says, didn't think Pip was a big deal, but I really need it. I would love selectable commentary too, like others. try
It's
to
like,
make their way
what
up.
is
No,
Pip?
like, look,
This is the whole
You know
point
what
of
Pip
us
is?
doing the super chat.
I know it is. I know it is. Please don't. All right. I know it is. I fucking know it is, man.
killing me.
All right. I know.
Can I tell you how desperate it's gotten for me?
No.
I got a new phone recently. I haven't sent back my other phone, so I was walking around with two phones. I had two phones.
I knew you would.
As recommended by me.
What was that, Frank?
I said that you should be using two phones if this matters so much, which
It does.
does. I'm not saying that that's weird.
Fight's over in MSG, guys.
Oh, what happened? What happened? I'm
No, like
busy here.
it's just gone the distance. Like.
By the way, you can't say fight's over. You say fight's gone the distance. All right? Learn the terminology. Here's one more from Beal Easebub 513.
Beelzebub.
Ariel Beelzebub. Ariel, give yourself the old Barry H. That L bar was your doing. So yeah, I had to explain to the UFC production staff. You could do something in the business that we like to call an L bar, where
L bar,
and then the L comes here, and you have like the adverts, you know. And I was like, guys, kill two birds with one stone. Give us the corner talk, but you've got the L bar. It's sort of like this.
Was that not me? Was that? I thought I said that, but you know, I'm my L bar on the brain. You never stop with the L bars. You know.
All right. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I saw it.
I'm doing the Larry Johnson, Chuck. You remember that, right?
Of course.
Gents, what a day! What a day!
Yeah. That's a marathon.
You guys, it's been a great day. I'm buying our time because I feel like it will bother me. The OCD in me will bother until we could tell people the result of the boxing, and then we could officially put a bow on this Uncrowned Saturday. I just wanted to tell you guys I was doing a lot of research on the curling coming up in the Winter Olympics.
Oh shit! I love the curling. Love the curling.
You know, the Norwegians are really gearing up for a big run. I think Ireland has 4 athletes going, so it's a big
and
group.
one of them's from Norway. Actually, two of them are from Norway, I believe. Actually,
Is that true?
I listened to a podcast about the Irish athletes going. They just talked about figure skating, which we aren't involved in for most of it. But you're dead right. I think our most hopeful position is this Norwegian guy who's going to cross country hiking skis.
Weird. A Norwegian guy is your biggest hope?
Yeah, his ma's from Cork, apparently.
Okay.
It works.
By the way, in the ring, Terrence Crawford is like completely mocking Teofimo Lopez. He hasn't liked some of the things that Lopez has said, some controversial, insulting, dare I say, racist.
Terrence thinks it's gone one way anyway. He's definitely acting like
he's dancing. He's dancing. Russ Anber over there, Montreal legend, cornerman for the great Shakur Stevenson. Chuck, as we wait the official scorecard, any final thoughts, Chuck? Any final thoughts?
Throw one to me before that, huh?
Well, I'm trying to kill some time here. I don't know if you.
It's bullshit, Chuck. You're dead right, and it's not in the spirit of final.
Okay,
thoughts.
If you want me to keep going, I'll keep going here.
Listen.
This will bring home the parlay, boys. Do you know that this win?
I wanted to give a shout out because I know that you did too for Catherine O'Hara.
Oh my God.
What a sad thing that was, huh? It's so
very sad.
like, these things happen sometimes, and you're like, older person, whatever. You know, like you kind of move on. But there's something about her going back to the the SC TV days and all the way through her career. That one hurt a little bit, man. And I know she's a Canadian, and she was a proud Canadian, and I knew that you liked her too, right? Like you're a fan.
Oh my God, Home Alone, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I know, man.
Went to see it 4 times in theaters. She was like everyone's favorite mom, and the fact that Macaulay Culkin would still call her mom when he saw her. Tremendous, and just 71. Reinvented herself with Schitt's Creek. That show that was a huge hit.
Love that show.
Beautiful soul. I saw a video of her popping up everywhere where someone in an airport asked her what her favorite role was, and she just looked at the person like they were crazy and had 3 heads and said, "Mother." That was my favorite role. And what a beautiful lady. Yeah. Very, very sad to hear that. Extremely sad. Very sad. So I think both parents from Home Alone have passed now.
Is that right?
And at a fairly young age. Let me make sure I got that right here because I'm going to feel awful. PC, just stick with me here. Home Alone.
He's like Home Alone.
They've announced the winner of the fight. Like, can we?
Did you seen Home Alone?
John,
you watched that?
John.
Good God, Pete.
I am correct. Okay, thank God. The winner of the fight is Shakur Stevenson. He is the new.
There was huge drama
there. Champion. He wins via unanimous
Just
decision.
Google Home Alone here. We're hanging on for the winner of the fight. He's already being fucking interviewed. He's going.
It was elementary. It was elementary at this point.
Lord.
You know. So shout out to Shakur, one of our favorites. Love that guy. And what's so funny?
I'm sorry.
Insensitive
What?
pizza. Wow.
Are you sad? What's going on? I can't tell if you're happy or sad right now. What's going
The
on?
Irish grieve in their own way. This is how they
This
grieve.
is how they grieve.
What's happening?
I think he's choked up about the whole thing.
Have I broken you?
Yeah, it just happens sometimes in these late ones. Something just tickles you and you're gone.
Well, I do want to remind you, Shakur, now a 4-division world champion. That's pretty incredible stuff. Not bad. And a potential pound-for-pound great at this point. One final thing, guys. One final thing. This is from a gentleman named Michael Carroll on X. He's a great follower.
Dad.
He does all
Sorry.
the stats. Is your dad's name Michael?
Are we good?
Oh man, you almost got us out of here.
You all right?
He said dad. He's like Macaulay and Catherine. When both matches are for this is an incredible stat. Keep it together.
You're very red.
When both matches are for a belt, the male challenger in a title fight rematch from 125 to 155 pounds is now 2-11.
Oh.
So Diego Lopes would be one of the 11. The only victories were Henry Cejudo in his rematch with Demetrius Johnson and Figueiredo in his rematch with Brandon Moreno. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty.
That is an amazing stat.
2-11. PT. PT, tell us all the 11 losses. Here we go.
I can't say anything at the moment, to be honest with you. I'm just, it's emotional watching Shakur Stevenson accomplish this.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
He's a legend.
Barely.
All right, guys. It's 109. I mean, this is one of the earliest post shows, right? I mean, as far as endings are concerned.
Yes.
Well, this has been
wild. Not even that late.
I'm going to go out. What happened to PT? What's going on?
I don't know.
It's been a great day. What about that crowd in Riyadh, huh? I mean,
That looked cool.
There must have been 150 people there.
A capacity crowd on hand in the hotbed known as Riyadh for all things pro wrestling. But it was a great, guys, MVP of Uncrowned Saturday. Who's the number one? Who's the number one star? Who, me?
Serious Frank.
Volk.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Connor Benn in the ring now, face to face with Shakur.
Oh.
Wait, that's the feud that started on my show.
That's what I was going to say. You started this, didn't you?
They're face to face yelling at each other. This is
You legit started this.
I made this out of nothing. There was no history between these guys. They're like 3 divisions apart. Look at this, face to face. I made this. Oh, you instigating haters. Look at this, 43 years old. Ooh, this is good stuff. I'm not listening to it. What, Pizza, you watching this?
Much of the facial expressions, and they're pretty intense.
They're pretty intense. This is good stuff. Come on. What's going to happen?
They made friends at the end. They shouldn't have done that. They
Signed the contract.
shaky hands.
Sign the contract. You remember that one, Mike Tyson and Bob Sapp? Sign the contract, big boy. What's happening? PT, I think you're ahead of me. Did something happen?
No.
I made that fight. I want 5%, guys. I want 5%, Turkey, Eddie.
It's only fair.
I made that fight.
Fair.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to supporting us. Thank you to everyone out there supporting us on Crown Saturday. 2nd annual in the books. Tremendous day. Hey, shout out to Shaheen and the whole .com squad. You guys did a tremendous job killing it. #1 on Google for all the events.
Nice.
And of course, shout out to the crew in New York. Shout out to the boys for another great watch party. I am back on Monday. One final show for me live until I head off to Italia, but much more of me. Don't worry. There's a little thing in the business that we like to call pre-tape. All right. L-bar, pre-tape, SOT-full, VOSOT, B-roll,
VOSOT.
P-roll. There's
all of it.
I got
all the rolls. All the rolls.
terminology for days. For
Don't
PT
forget
Carroll,
about Super
Chuck
Boxing
Menino.
tomorrow.
Super Boxing tomorrow night. Oh my God, on Crown Saturday
yeah.
bleeds into Sunday. It's unbelievable. Now we got the Oompa Loompa in the cage or in the ring talking to Shakur over there. It's unbelievable. Good night, and we'll talk to you on Monday, guys.